It's not easy to explain to a normal person what it was like in Auschwitz, because you didn't believe that you would ever get out of there.
In Auschwitz, everything you could imagine happening as a result of insane, evil and inhuman behavior took place.
It was the 6th of December. We were woken at 4 o'clock in the morning, as always. We had to undress and then, naked, go outside. It was snowing. All the women had to go outside onto this field, and there we stood, without food, with nothing, in this sleet, until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they opened the gate, and there, next to the ditches, stood the SS women, with sticks and whips. We had to run through this gate, and the SS women looked to see who was sick, or who had any visible injuries. They were separated from the rest and thrown into the ditches. The lorries were already standing a bit further away. So we ran through this gate, and we urged each other to run. We had to run. I didn't know whether I could last the distance, if I would survive. But somehow we managed it. But the other women, on the field, there was a whole mass of older women left over. They didn't even get up. A huge group. The lorries drove up and took the women who had been selected to be gassed. To be gassed. We arrived in the evening, and I can tell you, to arrive in Auschwitz is inconceivable. First of all, it stinks terribly, as you can imagine, the smoke from the burning corpses, and the continual barking of dogs, and the screaming and shouting, so the atmosphere was not very pleasant. And of course, when you arrive in Auschwitz, you know that's the end. You have to prepare yourself. There was an orchestra in the camp. I hadn't known that, and they were looking for people who could take part. They didn't have a cello. I can play the cello. That saved my life. You know, you have to imagine it. I was stark naked, with no hair and a number on my arm, and suddenly cello playing became important. We were the orchestra. We had a repertoire, and anyone could come into the barracks and request something. And one day Mengele came in and wanted to hear Schumann's Träumerei. That a man like Mengele even knew that there was such a piece of music.
Der wusste, dass Schumann ein Stück geschrieben hat, das heißt die Träumerei.
The train wagon was crammed full with Sinti, with Jews, with political prisoners. There were also children, not just adults. I think there were 10 train wagons, crammed with people. There was a great long queue there. We were standing there, also old people. I felt most sorry for them. They just collapsed. And pregnant women, who were heavily pregnant, and then the baby just fell through, because they weren't allowed to get out of line, or they would have been shot. And then the baby just lay there. Why did the Nazis do that? Why did they become insane? And in front of me was a Polish Roma woman. She had an older daughter, and the little one, I'll never forget it. She had such large, beautiful eyes, and the little one kept hiding under my dress. Now the mother's gone, and I said to myself, now I've got the child. The SS man said, "Is it your daughter?" And I said, "Yes," and he left her with me. Then we had to shovel away the human ashes, and I still had the little one with me. There were such mountains of it that they didn't manage to get rid of it all. And it stank too. It was an appalling stench. And then she kept clinging onto my skirt. Never in my life will I forget that. One day they told us they had made a transport list. And then they told me, "You can't take her with you. She has to stay here. You are going on a workers' transport, and you can't take the child with you." She clung tightly to me, the little one. I'm sure she ended up in the gas chamber. There was a trough, like a horse's trough. Then I just sat down on it and washed myself. I got undressed. I can remember an old man came in. And you know, I felt no shame anymore. Whether you were naked or not, it was not important. We had lost everything. Everything was gone. We were nothing anymore. And you thought, wait a minute, what's my name? What was my mother's name? We were not in the world anymore. My name is Philomena Franz.
Ich heiße Anita Lasker-Wallfisch.
My name is Anita Lasker-Wallfisch.
Nazywam się Valentina Nikodem.
My name is Valentina Nikodem.